Welcome to the Sound Like Us podcast, where we get the bedroom rock stars out of the bedroom, out into the world to hopefully get them the recognition they deserve. During the interview, we get to know an artist by asking them about how important music is to them, from how their early life shaped the musician they became, to live music, to their first foray into writing and producing music, and what they have planned for the future. Please like, follow, share and subscribe in all the usual places, so Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Instagram, YouTube, etc. A big thank you to everyone that has done so already. Please spread the word far and wide to your friends, family and even that annoying prick you sit next to at work. If you like the podcast, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform that you use, as this helps give the algorithm a big old slap in the chops and gets these musicians even more of the exposure they deserve. If you're a musician, singer, songwriter, rapper, producer, DJ, MC, or even, God forbid, a drummer, and you fancy joining me on the podcast, please don't hesitate to get in touch and we will get you on. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Welcome to Sounds Like Us podcast, and to today's guest, Nick Corbin from New Street Adventure. Nick, welcome to Sounds Like Us. Thank you for coming on. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thanks. Cheers for having me.
That's great. Right, so let's start by having you tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm a singer and songwriter, run a band called New Street Adventure, which we released 2 albums on acid jazz. The first one 2014, then one 2017. Then the band kind of went on hiatus for a bit, but we've come back and just released our 3rd album last Friday, 29th of August.
Oh, very cool. Right, so how did the music your parents listened to influence you while growing up?
I think I didn't realise how it influenced me until I got to my kind of late teens. Because my dad's a big soul collector, and so we'd always have soul, like Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, and then lots of kind of rare stuff playing in the house and in the car. And I think it took me getting into like indie in the sort of early 2000s to kind of come back around to realizing how a lot of it was influenced by funk and soul and stuff as well. And then that was when I realized the influence that my dad's music had had on me, really.
Yeah. Was there any specific artists or genres, like obviously soul, that sort of stood out to you?
Yeah, I think our favourites would have probably been like the Songs in the Key of Life album by Stevie Wonder, and then the Young Gifted and Black album by Aretha Franklin as well, were the kind of big ones I remember like having on in the car.
Yeah. Was your dad, did he go to see a lot of artists back in the day, like soul singers and stuff? Yeah.
I mean, not quite everyone, but most of the sort of big names, really. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of venues did he go to?
All sorts, really. I think, like, you hear Hammersmith Odeon as a big one for lots of artists back then, and like the Dominion. I remember him talking about seeing Curtis Mayfield at the Dominion Theatre. All sorts of places, really.
Amazing. So, whereabouts are you from yourself?
I was born in London, but then my parents moved to East Sussex, so I grew up in a place called Uckfield, so not far from Brighton.
Yeah, I know Uckfield a little bit because I'm a train driver. We a part of the company I work for, we drive down to Uckfield, so I've heard of it, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I've had many good times on that train line when I was growing up.
Yeah, the old thumpers, the diesels.
Yeah.
When they're running. So, can you share how that background growing up in Uckfield, did that have an effect on your background musically?
I think when I started playing in bands, I was like 19, 20, and getting into all that sort of indie where people like Arctic Monkeys and all the bands who were offshoots of them, they were all kind of singing about their lives growing up in like rubbish towns, you know, having like nights out and fights and stuff like that. And I guess like I was really influenced by that. So in Uckfield, there's a club called the Broadway, which was kind of our like mecca on Saturday nights for me and my mates, and there'd always be a load of like big rugby players in there causing trouble. And so, some of my early songs I'd write about kind of skirmishes and stuff that we'd had with these people. But that's probably about the and then I think there were a few songs about like wanting to escape that environment as well. But none of these songs are out there for the public to hear, I've got to say.
Yeah, sometimes when it's your earlier songs, you think, yeah, I just want to keep that in the drawer somewhere.
Yeah,
but yeah, I can kind of relate to what you're saying about growing up in a place that you want to get out of, because I'm from Croydon, and you probably might have been there, I don't know, but it's definitely an experience growing up here, the kind of place you want to get out of, and so yeah, I definitely relate to that. Are there any sort of experiences you remember in your hometown growing up that helped shape you as an artist? Gigs that you went to, any collaborations or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, when I was about 14, a few of the boys in my form started playing guitar and playing in bands. They I think there'd be like a school concert every term or something.
Yeah.
One concert singer was away, and I just offered to do it. And I think I was probably 15 by that point. So the first song I ever sung on stage was "For Whom the Bell Tolls" by Metallica. No,
Wow.
I remember I had, because it was just sort of the day before, I had all the lyrics in a little bit of paper on my hand, and I was just I was so nervous. But I think because I had the lyrics there, it kind of calmed the nerves. So I just but I still remember it really clearly, like not really knowing what to do, and I was just sort of pacing around the stage singing.
Yeah.
But I think that just kind of gave me the bug for performing, and then I started writing songs with a friend who lived in like the same village as me, and we performed them, and then eventually that led to me learning guitar.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you released your debut solo album, Sweet Escape, in 2020. How does your solo sound differ from that of New Street Adventure?
I used, sorry, not used. I worked with a producer who he's done a lot of indie stuff. So he worked on bands like the Twang, Editors. Also a group called Nizloppy. Do you remember that song, JCB song?
Yeah.
Which was a big #1 years ago. So yeah, the guy's name is Gavin Monaghan. He's based in Wolverhampton, and I think because I wanted to do something different, I went to him, and he was very like hands on with the production. So I think it's like I'm really proud of that album, but it's very kind of in its own niche. I think the songs are very strong, but it's not a soul album. It's a kind of indie-ish singer-songwriter album with a bit of a like funk influence. So yeah, it is actually very different, I think.
Okay. So was the title "Sweet Escape" a reference to getting out and spreading your wings?
I suppose so. Yeah, and it was also kind of about there was a friendship that I'd had, which had broken down, and there were a few songs on that album which kind of related that as well. So Sweet Escape, and then the last track, which is called Can't Say Goodbye, and then a couple of others within that record as well. But yeah, I guess it was a kind of that breathing a sigh of relief and being able to kind of do your own thing for a bit. So yeah, I suppose it would multiple meanings.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to a bit yesterday, and it definitely has a theme of breaking out and trying to make sure you let people know that you're kind of strong on your own, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So your brand new album that came out last Friday, What Kind of World? Talk us through the making of that a little bit.
I wrote all the songs, majority of the songs last year. New Street Adventure, we did we reformed for like a 10th anniversary of our first album last year, and it went really well. So I thought that the songs that I was writing at the time would work really well as a New Street Adventure album. So I make all my demos at home, so on Logic. So I kind of play everything myself, and then we take the demo into the studio and sort of embellish it with the guys who play with me. So so we like use my vocal as a guide track, and maybe some of the other bits like MIDI parts that kind of give the song energy, so that we've got something good to play along to. but we recorded
Okay.
all the drums, bass, and stuff live, like as a band. So I think it's got that like tightness to it. But
Yeah, it's definitely
yeah,
got
and
that.
then we had other days in the studio, like where we do. Like, there's a place in North London, a guy called Ernie McCone owns a studio, and he has an amazing like array of like analog keyboards and stuff. So we had a day there with Carl Hudson, who's an amazing musician, and we overdubbed all the keys there. And but yeah, most of the recording was done in Stoke Newington at a place called the Cube.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's where we did most of the vocals and most of the backing tracks and stuff.
Okay. Were there a lot of different contributors on the album as well?
Yeah, loads. Because we did the horns and the strings and stuff remotely, so it was kind of making sure you find the right people and kind of syncing all that up. And so I don't know exactly how many musicians we've got. I think with backing vocalists, I ended up using probably 6 different voices in the end. So there are 3 female and 3 male backing vocalists on the track, on the album. Sorry, and then I like that contrast. I think it meant that we could play around with the backing vocals and make them more of an instrument on this album. So that was good fun.
Cool. So I remember reading in your the biography that you sent me, it says that your experiences of fatherhood have had an impact on the making of the album. Tell us a bit about that.
So we had our son, he's 2 years, 8 months. He was born end of 2022.
Yeah.
The first, I'd say 6 months I found really, really difficult mentally. I think the first month or so, I really struggled to form a bond with him because he didn't need me, and then I sort of wrote a couple of songs about that and about what it was like to just when I felt things were kind of going well, I'd then have to go out to work, and then when I come back, it was like he didn't know me again. So that's what track 2, Get You Back, is about that. And then I wanted it to be the positive side of it as well. So once I started to enjoy it more and feel a bit more comfortable in my own skin, there are songs like Busy With My Baby, which are more joyful really, and it's about how you don't have to worry about anything else because you've got this amazing new love in your life. And then the title track, that I wanted there to be some element of social commentary on the album as well. So and lots of people you hear, they don't want kids because they don't want to expose them to this world that we're all living in, social, political and environmental kind of hell that is portrayed a lot. That's kind of about that, and trying to introduce some positivity there as well.
Yeah. It's again, it's something I can relate to because I've got 2 young girls, that twins. They're 4. Just started school this week, and like you're saying, when they're first born, it's really difficult to form a bond. And doing the shift work I do, come back after a week of late, they're like, who's this person? So I can definitely relate to that. And you struggle as a man. It is a struggle.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I think you're just not prepared for that the first time. And we've actually just had our second. We had a daughter like 3 months ago, and I found it so much easier this time. It's not that it's easy, but there hasn't been any of that panic or anything because I kind of felt like I know what to expect. But having 2 at the same time, that's full on, man. That's that's a proper baptism of fire, isn't it?
My poor wife. But going back to what you're talking about, bringing them into this crazy world, especially when you've got young daughters as well, you've got to kind of think about the kind of world that they're going to be facing, the pressures that as fellas we never had to experience growing up, and it's tough. It's very tough, but
it really is, and I think all you can do is sort of guide them and hope that they'll understand that they need to play some part in changing things, however small that is. I know that's kind of might be wishful thinking a little bit, but you just hope
Yeah.
that this younger generation, you can nurture them into being a good person, you know.
Yeah, completely. Is there a specific piece of music that takes you back to another time or place?
Yeah, I mean, there are several, but one in particular, there's a song by Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions called Wherever You Leadeth Me, which um, I remember my dad introducing me to the Impressions. I got into Curtis Mayfield before that, and then him showing me all their 60s work. And this song in particular was his favorite. And the first time he took me to a Northern Soul all-nighter, the 100 Club, the DJ, I didn't know any of the records they were playing. And then this guy played that song. And I just remember so clearly. And then I went and spoke to him afterwards. And the DJ, that is. And then, I ended up writing a song about that experience.
Okay.
Which is called the Big AC, which is like my dad's nickname, and that's like our most popular song, and we still play it. So that song in particular really takes me back there.
Yeah, it would do, and like especially when it's something that involves your dad, it resonates a bit more, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Who would you say are your main influences?
Curtis Mayfield, obviously, but then I really got into Bobby Womack after that. I think I remember my dad had a old Bobby Womack tour T-shirt that I used to wear when I was little, and I remember thinking it was like a nice sounding name when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then when I sort of rediscovered the soul music in my late teens, early 20s, Dad sent me a big kind of mixtape really of Bobby Womack stuff. And I just got really into him, and I just love his delivery and his songwriting, and the fact that he's slightly under the radar perhaps compared to some of his contemporaries. But he's always been a huge one for me.
Yeah, I do like Bobby Womack. I'm a big fan of you've been on the Robert Elm show. You've been on there a couple of times. I heard you were on there, was it last Friday, I think?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, I listened to that, and he plays Bobby Womack quite a lot, and Just My Imagination is one of my favourite songs that I've gone to recently. Brilliant. Right, a random question for you, which wasn't on the list that I sent you. If you could take anyone to any concert in history by any artist, who would you take? What gig would that be, and why would you take that person to that gig?
Do you know what? I really wish that I'd got tickets for Oasis just now. I know that probably sounds a bit kind of obvious one, but I suppose maybe not, because I've been talking about soul, but I'm really gutted that I didn't try harder to get a ticket.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to have gone with my wife. That I know that's really seems really soppy, but she really wanted to go as well. And it seems like everybody that we knew went. And it seems like this moment in time and this kind of crystallization of this journey that I remember buying What's the Story, Morning Glory, when I was about 7, and I loved it, and I never saw them before, so just to have kind of completed that circle and seen them this time round, I think, and I don't mind where it would have been great to see them in Manchester, I suppose, but did you go to any of them?
Yeah, me and my wife, we got very lucky on the ballot when it was, I can't remember when it was. In September last year, it came out, and it got through in a ballot, and it just selected the first 4 tickets that came out just to make sure we got in.
Yeah.
And I told my wife where we were sitting. She goes, "What did you pick them seats for? Right at the back of the stadium. They're shit." So, well, we just want to make sure we get in. But the view wasn't bad. It was an incredible day.
Yeah.
Richard Ashcroft, listen to his songs in a massive stadium, thousands of people singing it. But when the band came on, it was, I could not have imagined it being better than that.
Yeah.
It was like you say, a real full circle moment, because I've been into them since I was 14 in 1995, and just a real full circle moment, and a lot of people felt it. I reckon they're going to come again. I reckon they're going to extend the world tour. So you never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
think
I'll definitely, if they do, I'm definitely going to try and get them this
Yeah.
time.
we're feeling there's new music coming from them. Right. So, what was the first piece of music that you ever wrote?
It's a song called Watch Me Go, which was about, I took a year out after school finished, and I've got family in New Zealand, and I went to stay with them on my own. And I just remember my mum and dad and sister taking me to the airport, and I'd not been away before. And it just felt like this big moment, sort of going over to the other side of the world on my own.
Yeah.
I went for 4 months. It wasn't that long, but it felt like a big deal. And I wrote a song about that, and it was kind of like a bit of a soul-y kind of jangly indie song.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of means a lot to my family, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's a hell of a journey to make when you're so young, especially on your own.
Yeah.
What was it like? What was it like?
In New Zealand, or just, or you mean just going away?
Yeah, when you made that journey.
I think as soon as I'd said goodbye to them, I was just all right. I think I was nervous about that moment, and then I just did this flight. I remember having a few drinks on the flight and thinking that was quite fun. And then my cousins over there came and picked me up, and then we were away, and I loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
I got a little job over there for a couple of months working in a cafe,
Nice.
and then did a bit of a trip around the South Island and made some mates, and it was great. It was such a good place to visit. I'd love to go back again. It's just so expensive to get over there, but I'd thoroughly recommend it. But it's kind of a trip of a lifetime thing, really. Back then, I remember, I think my return flights were like 600 quid. I mean, that was 20 years ago, or nearly 20 years ago, but
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot more than that now.
Yeah, my wife's Brazilian, and we try to get to Brazil every couple of years. When we first spent the thing, our return tickets were about £900 each. Now you're looking 1,200-1,300, and we've got an extra couple of bodies to take with us.
Oh yeah, of course.
Using the Amex. Yeah, it's you got to make those trips when you can. Yeah. Can you remember the first concert that you ever went to?
Yeah, it was in Croydon, actually, at the Fairfield Halls.
Oh, was it?
Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Wow. Wow.
Well, I think I was 10 or something like that, and because Croydon was, I don't know, 50 minutes from from Uckfield or something.
Yeah.
In a car, maybe an hour, and I feel like it was a Sunday night. That might be wrong, but Dad took us all, and we were all seated. But I just remember her running out she sort of ran out on the stage, and she was kind of crouched down, like waving to everyone.
Yeah.
And I remember her playing Midnight Train to Georgia, because that was the song that I kind of knew, but I don't remember much else. And
no.
I don't think it was the Pips either. I think it was Gladys Knight, and maybe she got one Pip up on stage with her, but otherwise it was just her.
You spat the other Pips out.
Yeah.
We've been to the Fairfield a few times. It always seems to be on a Sunday. I can't remember who we've seen. I know we've seen Ken Dodd there. We saw Jethro, the comedian.
Oh, right.
We made the mistake of taking my mum to that. You didn't know that he was quite a blue comedian, swearing all the time. But yeah, quite a good venue. Right, so am I correct in thinking that New Street Adventure is named after Birmingham New Street Station?
Yeah. I started the band. I was at uni at Birmingham, and my bass player was my housemate, so we were put together in halls. And our first day, like, I play guitar, I play bass, and then we went bowling for like a freshers thing, and one of the reps was a drummer, so we just sort of joked, let's form a band. But then we did, and we started learning some of the songs I'd written, and then it was kind of, what are we going to call this? Well, the thing that we did the most was we'd get on the train from Selly Oak, where we lived, to New Street, and go there for like our nights out. So I don't think it was even me that suggested it. I think the bass player said, what about New Street Adventure? And it just stuck. So moved. It was we did it throughout uni, and then I wanted to move to London and carry it on, and the others didn't. So I just I just sort of kept it as kept the name, yeah, and it stuck.
Yeah, it's quite fitting calling it New Street Adventure because me and the missus went to Birmingham a few years ago, and since they rebuilt the station, trying to work out your way around it is an adventure in itself.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I mean, it used to be such a
Absolutely.
dump, that station. Like,
Yeah.
it was, and now it's like a future. It's almost like the Spurs Stadium
Yeah,
up in North London now. Like, it's kind of futuristic almost. But I
Yeah.
agree, because there's all like red zone, blue zone, and
Yeah.
it takes a while to figure it out, doesn't it?
platform 1A, 1B, and then
Yeah.
the announcement comes up and says, your train's coming on platform 1. Well, 1A, 1B, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the way these train stations are going now, because they're virtually shopping centres with railway tracks, aren't
Yeah.
they? Pretty
Yeah.
much. But like St Pancras is that's a mind fuck, that. So what was the first live performance you ever did? Was it your solo, or was it with the band?
So with New Street Adventure, played at one of, not the student union, but there was another kind of student bar on one of the main campuses where all the halls were.
Yeah.
And we played there. That would have been like June or July in 2007.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it was the thing I referenced earlier, which was the singing Metallica on stage. But but yeah, with New Street Adventure, that was the first one. It was called Bar One. And then we booked a venue called the Sunflower Lounge, which was, I think we played there like 2 weeks afterwards, and we booked it ourselves. And then, yeah, we just used to play every month or so.
Okay, so you kept it, once you started, you kept it rolling. That's good. So,
yeah.
Looking back, what would you say is the best performance that New Street Adventure has ever done?
I think we were really good last year on some of our tour shows. Pretty mega. Our London show at 229 was pretty special, because we had a horn section with us, and we'd done a farewell show there in 2018 when kind of I thought that was it for the band, and that was really special. But then to come back to that same venue and still kind of fill it up and have people, it was like people just couldn't believe that we were doing it again, and it was almost like a kind of deja vu in a strange way. But I think we were sort of better by that point, and because we'd done a string of tour shows before then, so the band was really kind of cooking. Yeah, so that's kind of when and yeah, there was a show, the last one of that tour in Glasgow, which we really kind of nailed as well, and that was a venue called St Luke's, which is really special one to play. So yeah, I would probably go for some of those most recent ones.
So you set up the Big AC Records with your wife, Sophie. Tell us a bit about the label and the artists that you work with.
The label, originally I had to come up with a label name for my solo album, because we were with a label services company for it, and they said you need just a name for the label. And so I called it Big AC Records, because I thought people might associate the label name with New Street Adventure and thus find my music. But I don't know if that was going to work. But during lockdown, we put the solo record out, but then I'd started writing songs with a couple of singers. And Sophie and I had a chat one day, and we thought, well, what if we continued Big AC Records, and like, we know how to get vinyls pressed, we know how to send them out and promote stuff to radio a little bit. And yeah, so first one was with a girl called Abby Farrell, who's brilliant. We wrote a song together called I Will See You Through. That did really well. And then Kami Love, who still sings with New Street Adventure as well, as one of our backing vocalists. So yeah, those first two releases were really successful. And then it started to become really, really expensive to get the vinyl made. And there was these huge waiting times. And it just felt like we lost a bit of momentum with regards to selling records. Like, I went with some proper cowboy company in Paris who said they would turn a vinyl for me around in 12 weeks, and it took 7 months. and they were the worst people to deal with. Like, so yeah, Vinyl de Paris. Yeah, if anyone hears this, never work with them. But yeah, so that became difficult. But then we had this idea to take the singers that we'd been working with out on the road. So we did what we called the Big AC Soul Review. So we had Abby Carmi and then my friend Emma Noble, who I'd also written a couple of things with. And we had a backing band, and we thought, let's take it on tour. And we all sung sort of 4 or 5 songs each, and then did backing vocals for each other. So all 4 artists were on the stage at the same time, and that was a really exciting time, actually, because it felt like we were really building something, and we were doing something that nobody else was as well. So those shows were really good fun. But yeah, and then it kind of took a backseat when we started having kids. So yeah, the label. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do it again, but it's just so hard to. I've just been focusing on New Street Adventure the last year or so, and yeah, I just haven't had time for anything else. But yeah, Sophie and I both love to get it going again. Yeah, it just feels like artists sort of need to stick together a bit more and like play together more. And yeah, there's strength in numbers, I think.
Yeah, I mean, guess, you know, since the pandemic, you know, a lot of people are grouping together and working together to get things working, especially with a lot of venues closing down. And
yeah,
you know, people are working hard to keep the scene in London and the rest of the UK going, you know. And is it easy to find new soul acts in the UK and London? No,
I don't think it is. I think, well, definitely not in. It's not easy to find people who are open to collaboration, I don't think. And I do understand it, because if one of your songs does well, then you've got to split the songwriting royalties with somebody else, then that's tough. But I don't know, I always used to be really precious about writing on my own, but now I've realized that writing with other people, you learn a lot more, and that person might mean that you get played on the radio, you know, which you wouldn't if you were just writing yourself, or that kind of thing. But yeah, I think people should be more open-minded to collaborating and compromising a bit more on their music, perhaps, and just actually being proactive and getting stuff out. But yeah, it's difficult. You know, we were kind of asking. We wanted the acts we were working with to be in a very kind of, you know, the niche of, if you put this record out on vinyl, we know who's going to buy it. So yeah, it is difficult.
Yeah, definitely. But once you get back into the scheme of doing it again, it'll all fall into place, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
So is there a particular venue that stands out to you as a favourite place to perform?
I love the 100 Club. It's a special place. We've always just had great gigs there. I don't think the sound system is the best. Like, I've been to some things there which aren't very good, but then there are some of the sound engineers that work there are just amazing and know exactly what to do with it. But it also comes down to the bands as well, like making sure they work with the sound engineers to get the best possible results. But I just think it's one of those rare places that actually has an instant atmosphere that when you walk in, you're kind of blown away. You know, there's all the history on the walls, and it's iconic, I think. The other place where that I think is really special is the Broodnall in Leeds, which we played last year as well, and that's got 2 venues. Again, it's just we were just sort of hanging out in the pool room, like before our gig, and we just made like all these friends, just all these kind of lads, and we were playing pool with, and they ended up coming and watching the gig afterwards, and that's a really special place. But for me, it's the 100 Club. It's got a lot of history for me, I think.
Yeah, for a lot of people, definitely. Right, another random question. If you could save 5 albums by 5 other artists from a burning building, which 5 are you going to choose?
At the moment, it would be there's a band, I don't know how to pronounce them. I think it's the Delines, or some people say Delines. They're like kind of country soul-y band from America. An album called The Imperial, which is
Okay.
really amazing. Facts of Life by Bobby Womack. I would go for I Want You by Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
Main Street People by the Four Tops. And then what's the other one? It's tough, isn't it? And it always changes, I feel like. I really like the latest one by Joanne Jones in the Indications, actually, Flowers. I think that's got a really lovely vibe to it. So yeah, I'll pick that.
That's a good 5. That is a very good 5. Right. What is your favourite all-time song of yours to perform live? Be that solo or New Street Adventure?
It has to be the Big AC, just because it almost feels like a kind of cheat code. Like even if we've had not the best gig, and if the room's a bit kind of not frosty, but taking time to warm up for whatever reason, we play that at the end of our sets, and everyone goes home happy. And it's the joy that it seems to bring to so many people. I'd be surprised if I ever write a song that does that again, but I don't mind. I love singing it. I love that people joining in. It's I feel really, really lucky to have that connection with a song and my audience.
So that's the one that's guaranteed to get them off their seats and into the dance floor. Yeah. Wicked. What are the earliest memories you've got of recording?
So when we recorded an EP up in Liverpool. My friend he was studying at LIPA, the Performing Arts uni there, and that all went quite well. We just did 4 tracks, but then the next recording experience is kind of the funniest one, because we went to this guy called Matt Terry, who he produced, like, you know, that band The Enemy. Away from here, they were that big sort of indie band, and we had a manager at the time who knew him, and he said, let's go in and record this one song, he's going to do a favor for us. And we got in there, and he was really nice, Matt, and he said, right, I want to record the drums first, and I want to do them to a click track. And our drummer had never played to a click, a metronome, ever, and we spent about half an hour trying to do it. And then he just couldn't do it, and we just went home. So we never ended up getting the recording with him. And everything else after that with that particular drummer, he's one of my best mates. I'm sure he won't mind me saying, recounting this experience. But we just recorded as a band live from then on, which I kind of enjoy a bit more anyway. I think like the overproduced, like deliberate style isn't really for me, but it's quite funny. It was in Stratford upon Avon, and I remember we finished and then we just all went to the pub after, like within about half an hour.
That's the way the best recording sessions end, in the pub. So how do you record now? Do you record at home? Have you got a home studio, or is there places you go to?
I've got a sort of basic setup at home where I can just do my demos. So I just use like a drumming software and then I'm all right at bass, so I kind of set up the groove sort of as close to how I want it. And then a bit of keyboards, and then I do all my vocals at home. But then we usually just go into the studio and replace everything. There was a song on the latest album where I just couldn't better the vocal that I'd done at home, so so we kept that in. But yeah, mostly we'll redo it all in the studio.
That's cool. I wish I had a recording studio at home, but we've only got a little flat. And I've only can use GarageBand on the MacBook. It's about as good as it gets, really. Yeah,
well, that's. I just do it, you know. It's definitely not a studio at the moment. It's a baby changing table on the desk. So I haven't done any recording at home for 3 or 4 months. But I'll get it back soon.
Yeah, well, I'm having to record this in our bedroom because the wife's in the other room working. Bit tight for space in here. So, is there a track of yours that carries a deep personal meaning for you?
Yeah, lots of them really. I think the on the latest album, the final song's an acoustic one called "When I See You with Him," and it's inspired by seeing my mum like playing with my son, and my mum's been unwell for quite a long time,
Oh, sorry.
and she's sort of managing it, you know, but it's kind of the song's just looking at the joy that it brings both of them to spend time with each other, but that it's got that kind of bittersweet thing that where you know that it's not going to last forever, maybe.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a complicated feeling, but
Yeah.
that one's really really special to me.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah. Can you think of a piece of music that made a major impact on you as a teenager, and it's something you've carried on through adulthood?
I think there's a Bobby Womack song, "Home Is Where the Heart Is," which is a cover that he did, and a name of an album as well.
Mm.
And that one, like at uni, I went through various stages of being kind of quite depressed, and I remember Dad
Yes.
sending me this Bobby Womack kind of mix tape, and at the time I wasn't very happy, and I remember getting this CD, and the first track was "Home Is Where the Heart Is," and it's always meant a lot to me, that song, because
Yeah.
it's like a really joyful piece of music, and there's something really comforting about it as well. And I think
Mm.
I've always tried to be really personal and honest in my songwriting from listening to artists like that. You know, so
Yeah.
even though it was a cover version, I didn't know that at the time, but there was just
Yeah.
something in his delivery and the way he sang it. So yeah.
We've all got kind of songs that connect with us on that level.
Mm.
Mine would be "Rocking Chair" by Oasis. And there's the first lines,
yeah.
"I'm older than I wish to be. This town holds no more for me. All my life I tried to find another way." And sort of harks back to what we were talking about earlier about, you know, wanting to get out of the place that we were in. Yeah, that's the song that I take with me now.
Yeah.
What's one of the most memorable moments from a live show, whether that's a crowd reaction to a song or a moment of connection, any random incident that stands out to you? Maybe something funny or...
Yeah, when we were playing in Leeds last year at the Brudenell, suddenly this lady just appeared next to me on the stage.
Mm.
She just walked up and she just sort of grabbed my hand, and and I didn't know what to do. And she started talking to me between songs.
Yeah.
And I was trying to say to her, "There's, sorry, like I think I said, can someone call security?" Like as a bit of a joke. And then I don't really know what she was trying to ask me. I think she said, "You're lovely," and I said, "Thank you. So are you." And 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 then I think someone came and just sort of said, "Come on, like get off now." And but that was quite memorable because I don't think that's ever really happened to me before. And she wasn't aggressive. She was just seemed like she was having a nice time, but it was almost like she wanted to speak to me one on one. But I was talking to the audience at the time.
Maybe she was a little bit under the influence, shall we say?
Yeah, I think so. I think she might have been. There's some cheap beers in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it sounds like a good moment. There's certainly worse things that can happen.
Yeah.
So talk us through the live setup of the New Street adventure now. Like, who do you have with you on stage? Give them a little bit of a shout out.
Yeah, we typically go out as a 7-piece. So we've got Mike on drums, Flo on bass, Sahil on keyboards. Guitar, usually we have a guy called Roshan, but this tour we've got my friend Steve filling in. And then backing vocals we have Paige and Kami, who are sensational as well. So yeah, it's that's usually how we go out, because there's a lot of backing vocals in the songs, so it's that's quite special to have the girls there.
Yeah.
And then London, when we're playing somewhere bigger and have a bit more budget, we'll get a horn section in as well. So that's always nice.
Yeah, definitely. Are there any other bands or artists that you've enjoyed playing with, seeing on live on the local scenes?
So we're 3 of the gigs that we're doing on this tour are with a band called The Milk, who are sort of long time friends of mine. Mitch, the drummer,
based, I think, aren't they?
That's right. Yeah. Mitch produced our first 2 records, and we did some recording of this album at his studio as well. And we did a tour with them in 2017, which was so much fun. Because we just all get on so well, and the music's kind of similar but different enough that the audience are getting like different experiences. So that'd be my favorite band to play with. And it's a shame we're only doing 3 gigs together this year, because it didn't quite work out. Had some we were hoping to do a lot more, but maybe next year together we can do some.
Brilliant. All right, so what does the future hold for New Street Adventure, both in the short term and the long term, and for yourself as well?
Short term, I'm really looking forward to obviously these gigs, and I just hope people continue to enjoy and discover the new album. We'll have a few more gigs early next year, and then next year after that, so probably May, June, there's another project which I'm launching, which I can't really say too much about yet, but that'll become apparent kind of early next year, I think. And then I'm going to start on a new Street Adventure album. I'm actually kind of thinking I'd like to do, base what we were saying earlier about co-writing. Because this album I've written everything myself. This is a call out to anybody who's up for contributing some songwriting. Cool. I think that's what I'd like to do next time, and just sort of continue the adventure, and get another album out in maybe early 2027 or sometime around then.
Yeah, cool. Look forward to that. Right, and that brings us to the end of the interview. Have you enjoyed it?
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I hope I didn't waffle on too much.
No, you're brilliant. It's brilliant to have you on. I appreciate you taking the time out of the day, and even though you've got grocery deliveries and other things going on, it's really appreciate it. Right, so do you want to?
And thanks for.
It's okay. So, do you want to tell people about the gigs and tours coming up? And
so we're in Bury St Edmunds tonight, which it probably isn't going to be any good for anyone listening to this. We're at Manchester Band on the Wall on the 26th of September. That's with The Milk. And the night after that, the 27th, we're in Stroud at the Subscription Rooms with The Milk as well. And then 14th of October is our big show at Scala. So that's something we're really looking forward to. It's the biggest venue that we've headlined, and we've got a great band supporting us from Manchester, actually, called the 745s. So they're coming down for that. So we hope that everyone's going to get their tickets for that one, and we'll be playing a big old set.
Style King's Cross. So that's in support of the album that came out last Friday. What Kind of World?
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So how can people reach you online? You've got socials, you've got a website and stuff like that.
Yeah. On Instagram, the best way is at Nick Corbin Music. There is an account at New Street Adventure as well, but my Nick Corbin Music is where I kind of update mostly. And then Nick Corbin and New Street Adventure on Facebook. And then we still have the website Big AC Records as well, where people can. There's information about New Street Adventure, and then all the other stuff that we've done too.
Brilliant. I'll add all those links onto the post when I've finished the episode. So please like, share, follow, and subscribe to Sounds Like Us podcast on Instagram and YouTube. and Spotify and all the rest of that sort of jazz. Right, and finally to play us out, do you want to introduce your new song?
Yeah, so I mentioned this one earlier. It's a song I'm really proud of. It's called Busy with My Baby.
All right, so to playing us out, it's Nick Corbin and New Street Adventure with Busy with My Baby. Nick, it's been a real pleasure. I really appreciate it. Again, taking time out of your day to come on. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Rode the hum in the dusky light, scout the Soho streets, buzzing with uncertainty. I haven't checked in for days. Hope you get my priorities have changed. Yeah, I could have come out to play, but I was busy with my baby, taking time out with my baby. Yeah, I was busy with my baby, wasting sweet time with my baby. I guess I missed a lot, besides the half that you forgot. I can't exactly say I've longed for gossip flung from acid tongues, all the interrupted bliss. Loyalty dictates, I can't resist. Yeah, I could have put up with your shit, but I was busy with my baby, taking time out with my baby. Yeah, I was busy with my baby, wasting sweet time with my baby. Now I know I found the greatest reason I can give to just ignore all the pointless, useless, endless questions. Where have you been? What are you living for? You can be sure I'll be busy with my baby, taking time with my baby. Yeah, I'll be busy with my baby, every day wasting time with my baby, with my baby.